What is up, guys? It is LumberMoose here with your third vlog. Welcome to the vlogging camp. And today I'm going to be doing the E3 conference review. And we are going to go through the conferences one at a time. I don't have really a lot of time to do the videos and review the footage from the conferences of late, so I'm going to just be doing the conferences one at a time. And either I'm going to mash them all together or I'm just going to release them as a series of short videos over the course of the next couple of days. So in the event that this is just one conference, be on the lookout over the course of either later today or sometime tomorrow. I'll just be doing the other conferences, the longer conferences anyway. The shorter conferences I'll probably be able to do together, but the big ones like EA and Microsoft, I'll probably have to do them one at a time just because they're longer, and my time is still not as free as I would like. Started my new job and got it going. I'm about 3 days in, but my time is still not as free as I would like with my new landlord, as I have not gotten my first check. So until such time as I'm actually paid the first time and have money that I can shove in his face and say, here, leave me the fuck alone, I'm still having to do all the stuff around the house, and that's kind of prohibiting me being able to do other things. They're kind of slacking off on it a little by little since I'm actually working now, but as I stated in the last vlog, they've got a poorly disciplined 3-year-old that needs constant minding, and they like to jaunt off and just leave him in my hands. Even though I have a black thumb when it comes to plants, children, and pets, and I've warned them about this. But you guys didn't tune in to listen to me bitch about my home life, did you? You tuned in to listen to my rant, almost, about the E3 conference, or as I'm liking to call it, E3's fucking drumline. One thing to note, I did hear from Blendro that he did his E3 review on his last vlog on Friday, so I did not watch his video. I did not want his opinions and his statements regarding the E3 conference on any of the publishers to taint what I'm going to say on this one, so I don't wind up retreading anything that he said. It's just going to be all me and all my thoughts on it, and then I'll probably go back and watch his review after I'm done recording all of this. That way I can do either a rebuttal, or we can get together and do one together, and kind of do a point counterpoint thing with each other. What was more important to us and what we agree and disagree on, if we can get our schedules to sync up. Actually getting into E3's drumline, so they opened up with Madden, and did a nice little drum show, but didn't really show too much of the game off, honestly. They went into their expression of what is essentially create a character career mode, which is something that they've been doing in NBA series and the FIFA series for the past couple of iterations. So they're moving it now into Madden. And honestly, create a player, not that new. They kind of talked about it like it was the most revolutionary thing they'd ever come up with for Madden, but really it's not that new. And honestly, it's not going to be enough to ignite much, if any at all, interest in their sports titles for me, since it didn't with NBA and didn't with FIFA. So it's probably not going to get me to start playing Madden, just because they threw a single player storyline in there where you create a character and they throw some hard luck sports rising up from college or what have you story at you for that. One thing that did kind of jump out at me while they were talking about Madden was they noted that on the Scorpio, Madden is going to run at 4K graphics. However, what I have been hearing, and I'm not gonna talk about other conferences too much while I talk about the E3 conference, but this is just one I had to point out. One thing I have heard is that even though Madden is going to run at 4K on the Scorpio, for some reason, somehow, Destiny 2 will not. So, what the fuck, Bungie? What the hell are you guys doing? Um, that'll pretty much wrap it up for Madden on my end. To move on to their other sports titles, which I'm only vaguely interested in, but feel like I should mention. Then you go into FIFA, and I was a little interested in what they mentioned about how they're going to take their esports with FIFA in a direction where you have real world characters or real world players, excuse me, um, representing real world teams. And I don't know how they're going to make this work and how they're gonna kind of push that all. But I mean, their motion capture for FIFA looks like great technology. It'd be nice if they would actually devote it into other areas rather than just wasting it on a sports game. Um, yeah, that'll about do it for FIFA. NBA 18. Okay, well they're taking the same route of doing the storyline with that. It did seem like they had kind of tightened up the ball control a little bit on NBA, but it's still not going to be enough to get me to play it more than just if I'm over at somebody else's place and they say, hey, I want to play this, if I have to. Um, I sort of liked that they were, during the course of that storyline, kind of putting more of the street stuff in. It kind of feels like they're taking the NBA, pro career that they do and kind of mingling it with a less fun, less out there version of NBA Street. But it kind of gives me a little bit hope that they're going to go in a direction where they start to slowly reintroduce NBA Street and NFL Street and even FIFA Street, which was the one that I didn't play, but in back into their repertoire, and we might actually get some of those crazy, kind of really fun street style games in where you're doing a whole lot of the fancier tricks and a lot of the more out there acrobatic moves that made those games so much fun and so great back in the day. Um, Moving on, the big standout for the EA conference, to me at least, was Battlefront 2. I like the way they're going back to the formula of the original run of Battlefront before they did the reboot. Before they, added. I mean, the first Battlefront, and I'm not going to say it was a failure. It was a bit of a stumble. It was DICE's first real attempt at doing a Battlefront game, and as I was afraid, it came off to me as very much like Battlefield with a Star Wars paint covering over it, and without too much in the way of the same substance that made Battlefield actually pretty good. Um, with Battlefront 2, this latest one, it feels to me like they're trying to recapture. They listened to the fans' concerns regarding the first Battlefront, and they're bringing everything back. Single player campaign, back into space battles, more massive battles on the ground. Um, I do like what they've done as far as redoing the class mechanics and actually making the different classes more important. It'll be interesting to me to see if they manage to get the hero characters to play more uniquely within this game. I want them to all feel like you're actually playing somebody different, as opposed to, because I played the first Battlefront. I got into some of those matches, got into some of that stuff. I mean, I tried to like it. I wanted to like it. And I don't know, it just kind of felt like, when you got put in the shoes of Vader or put in the shoes of Luke. They kind of played samey. So I mean, I want them to really capture the essence of those characters and make them unique and different in this one. I like the evolving maps, the objective based gameplay, and it feels to me like they're kind of pushing that a little bit more and doing a more whole battlefield environment where anything can actually affect anything else. Particularly like the fact that they're doing couch co-op again. It's been sorely missed, and I've wanted to be able to do couch co-op again with Battlefront for so many years. But my first generation Xbox got stolen, so I had a copy of Battlefront 2 and just couldn't do anything with it, and ended up gifting it to somebody else. So yeah, that's the sad story on that one. Um, but overall, I think the big winner for the EA conference this year is going to be Battlefront 2. Um, Moving on from that, Battlefield for the Czar, or as I'm really liking to call it, just in lieu of the fact that they're bringing the Russians into it, is you're going to chuckle at this. It's going to be terrible. I'm going to do a terrible Russian accent, but Battlefield General Winter. Um, I like that they're going to the Eastern Front of World War One, where a lot more of the interesting battles occurred, and there's going to be a whole lot more meat to this one, I think. I don't know, from the trailers that they showed, it kind of feels like they're going to add more in the way of single player story, and that'll be sort of interesting. Dice does do a lot with throwing the mechanics from what is ostensibly a multiplayer game into a single player campaign, and they're usually pretty good about throwing set pieces in there to kind of show off the power of the Frostbite engine. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays. But new multiplayer maps. I haven't really gotten the chance to play Battlefield 1 too much as a result of the fact that, well, I'm a broke bitch, so I haven't been able to afford to get a copy of it for myself. I've only been able to play it through the kindness of someone else. That's a hint for those of you who want to throw some stuff at us on Patreon, by the way. But I have what of it I have managed to play. I have enjoyed the crap out of it. It sure beat the crap out of Infinite Warfare. There is just more than I want them to see them do. I'm hoping that what I've seen so far from For the Czar is just the tip of the iceberg on this newest one, and they're going to throw a whole lot more into it before they push it out there. Night maps. I like the idea of night maps, but what I'm worried they're going to do with night maps is just they're going to do the same maps that they did in the first one and make it dark. It's going to add a new level of challenge, but I want them to do more in different maps that actually take advantage of the fact that it's dark, and it's harder, the more challenge that's going to bring to playing matches in the dark. And more objectives, goddammit. More objectives. We're going to move on from that to what else is on the docket today? Yes. It looks like it's A Way Out. It really felt to me like sort of a natural evolution of the formula that they put together with Army of Two. Um, Army of Two was a great game back when it was new. I mean, it had a great co-op aspect about it. The sequels kind of didn't grab me as much, But I really enjoyed just the gameplay aspects of the original Army of Two, and the great co-op stories that come out of it. This game feels like it's just an overall more story heavy, natural evolution of what Army of Two might have become if they had kept up with it. And honestly, the prison angle, the two guys meeting in prison angle, it really feels like it's going to play a lot like Army of Two meets The Great Escape, but with the added bonus of you have the ability to control one character while one player is in a cutscene, so you don't feel like you're just completely static in that cutscene. It's an interesting addition, and I really am looking forward to seeing how it plays and how it works out. Overall, there didn't really seem to be too much in the way of actual gameplay footage within the preview that they showed, but it'll be something that I'm going to keep my ear on the ground for, just to see what more comes out of it and the studio that made it. Um, Anthem, honestly, as just a trailer, I liked what they were going for with it. I sort of liked the way it looked, but it almost felt like they were pulling a bit much from Horizon Zero Dawn on it. Um, but really, there's not much more to say on Anthem. It was just a preview and a short one at that, and it didn't really give too much away. So I'll be looking more at it as more information comes out, but on the fence about that. Uh, what's left? What's left? Need for Speed Revenge. Um, the overall feel I got out of it, it felt a whole lot like Need for Speed meets Burnout. And we all remember Burnout was hella fun back in the day. So if Need for Speed manages to capture even a little bit of the fun of the Burnout series, I'll be mostly happy with Revenge. Um, One thing I did have a concern about regarding it, and we'll just have to see how their play control works out, is the switching drivers and cars on the fly. I like the storyline aspect. I like jumping characters throughout the course of the storyline. A group of very skilled drivers taking on what is essentially a city completely run by the mob and its contacts. But as far as mid mission, just jumping between drivers in different vehicles that are probably going to handle very differently, just in the middle of what you were doing, might throw me off. Um, I mean, I like the Need for Speed series, but I'm not the greatest at driving games. Let's just put it that way. So a sudden shift in handling and performance on vehicles in the middle of a mission is probably going to lead to some hilarious results on my end. Let's just put it that way. I do like that aspect that they mentioned of finding old abandoned cars and then restoring them into supercars, basically. That seems like it's going to be a great and interesting part of the game. However, I would be more interested to see how they plan to integrate it into the course of the game. Whether there's something that you find all of them over the natural progression of the game story, or whether it's something you have to go looking for. I don't know. I think it might be interesting to make you go out of your way and actually have to find them before you can start working on them. But overall, it's something that's got me wanting to take a closer look at Need for Speed again. After the last couple of iterations didn't really didn't really do it for me. So we'll have to see whether they manage to get me back with revenge, or whether I just remain sort of distanced from the Need for Speed series until the next one. Alright guys, that's going to do it for my E3 review on EA's conference. So we are gonna just call it quits tonight. Expect the next conference review to come later today, since that's really all I have time to do tonight. So I will catch up with you guys later. Remember to leave a comment below if you have any suggestions or comments that you'd like to leave for me, and I will reply to the ones that I can. And I will talk to you guys later on. This is LumberMoose, signing out.